left-hand side, we've got this white ship here, the HQS Wellington. And at the back of the boat, the stern of the boat, there's an archway on the wall. We'll pass it in a second, it's just behind the back of the boat there. Now, it's called Temple Arch, and it is a boundary marker. This is the boundary between the city of Westminster we've just left and the city of London we're now in. Now, not a lot of people are aware of this, that the city of London stretches from here to Tower Bridge. It's all on your left-hand side, 1 square mile in size, and has a population of 10,000 people. The city of London is one of the UK's smallest cities. When you're thinking of London, what you're thinking of is Greater London, comprising 32 boroughs and a population of 10 million, so a big difference. But the city is actually home to one of Europe's largest financial districts, which you can see from here. The tall buildings ahead of us, slightly to the left, that's the financial district. Now, some of the buildings over there have nicknames, and they include the Gherkin, the Scalpel, the Cheese Grater, the Can of Ham, and the Walkie-Talkie. It's your job to work out which one's which. Now, I've got another tall building with a nickname for you. Okay, it's on the right-hand side. You see this tall building, this glass building with a lovely curve to it there. Its official name is number 1 Blackfriars, but its nickname is the Kim Kardashian building. Don't blame me, that's something to do with the taxi drivers coming up with that one. Don't blame me. Right, now, I said number 1 Blackfriars, you know, so these bridges are the Blackfriars bridges that we're approaching here. Now, we always navigate on the starboard side of a channel, that's the right-hand side. So we're on the right-hand side of the river, which means we're lining up to the correct arch for this bridge. However, at high water, we actually won't fit under this archway. So that gives you a bit of an idea of the rise and fall of the tides. Sometimes we have to use the arch to the left, which is supposed to be for traffic going in the other direction. Now the bridges themselves, look at the pillars on the Roman bridge here. They were designed to look like church pulpits. And that's because there used to be a 13th century monastery, Dominican monastery on the north bank. So it's named after the monastery. Friars, priory, black was the colour the monks wore. Now between the bridges you'll see some great pillars. They're the foundations for the original railway bridge we stood in. This is the second bridge, is the Leeds railway bridge, and this is actually a train station. So on this bridge is Blackfriars Station. Now the station above you, it was designed and constructed to accommodate more people coming to London for the Olympics in 2012. The only problem is they completed construction in 2013, so they completely missed the Olympics, which did a terrible job. There you go, Blackfriars. On your left, so in the city, we can see St Paul's Cathedral. So you can see the dome, that's the cathedral on your left-hand side. Now, the building you're looking at today opened to the public in 1711. It was actually reconstructed after the Great Fire of London, which was in 1666. Now, the Great Fire of London destroyed about 80% of the square mile, the city I was telling you about. So all this on your left, reduced to ashes, and the main feature they wanted to rebuild was St Paul's Cathedral. It was a bad couple of years for London, because in 1665 they had a big rain which wiped out a good portion of the population. The following year, the Great Fire of London started. Now, when we go under the Millennium Footbridge here, have a look to your left as we go under the bridge, because they built this bridge perfectly in line with St Paul's Cathedral there on your left-hand side. Any Harry Potter fans on board, you'll recognise this bridge. They use this in the Harry Potter movies, flying over this bridge. Apparently it was the most expensive scene in the whole franchise. Give them away. Tends to stop throwing anything else anyway. There you go. Now, on your right-hand side, we've got William Shakespeare's Globe Theatre. It's a white building with a thatched roof. Tudor-style building. It's a replica to the original. The original theatre burned down in 1630. Now, if you went to see the performance of the Globe Theatre during Shakespeare's time, to get yourself a cheap ticket in the standing section, it would have cost you 1 penny. And what they used to do was go round that theatre collecting the money in a box. At the end of the performance, they took the box to the box office where they counted it, and that's where we get the same box office from today. The old theatres in Southern on your right-hand side. If you're looking for a show whilst you're in London, see what's on at the Globe. We quite often sell tickets for as little as I think that's pretty good to see a live show in London. Now, so this is the London Borough of Southwark, and this is Southwark Bridge we're about to go under. This is the least used bridge in London. It's very hard to find this bridge, it's confusing. Lots of one-way streets lead to it, so it doesn't get used much. So if you see anyone walking across this bridge, give them a wave because they are lost. Can't see anyone actually. Oh, no, he's been there since yesterday. The original bridge here was built in the early 1800s, and they built it to alleviate the congestion on the old London Bridge. I'll tell you about London Bridge in a minute. Now, if anyone's looking for a pub later on today by the side of the river, I've got a really good one for you. This pub on your right side, the Anchor, is one of the oldest on the river. It's been there for over 400 years, this pub. It's where Samuel Pepys sat and chronicled the Great Fire of London from in 1666. It is also where you'll find me and the captain in a couple of hours' time. Now that is entirely for research purposes, of course, for these commentaries. We have to do our research. This is Cannon Street Bridge, and now London, for over 300 years, is the busiest port in the world. And at the height of trade on the river, warehouses line the banks for up to 10 miles. Some nice examples on your right here. We've got Winchester Wharf, Pickford's Wharf. And if you look next to Pickford's Wharf on your right hand side, in the dry dock here, we're going to pass a pirate ship just to your right. Now, has anyone seen Pirates of the Caribbean? Yeah? That has absolutely nothing to do with it. Nothing at all. This is Sir Francis Drake's Golden Hind on your right. He was a privateer during the time of Elizabeth I. He was actually the first Englishman to circumnavigate the world. Now this bridge is pretty famous. I've mentioned this bridge already actually. This is the bridge that keeps falling down. Yeah, London Bridge, yeah, this is it. Now several have stood here. The Romans built a bridge here about 2,000 years ago. The most famous London Bridge was the old medieval bridge, built in the 12th century. It spanned the river here for about 600 years and was considered a wonder of the world at the time. Now, if you're interested in the history of London Bridge, now on to your left, there's a couple of buildings with scaffolding over there on your left-hand side. Now, there's a gap between the buildings. That gap is where the old London Bridge crossed the river. In the gap is a church. It's called St Magnus the Martyr. Now, if you go into the church, they've actually got a scale replica model of the old London Bridge, and they've also got some of the wooden foundations of the original road. Oh, just up there on your right, guys, that's the Shard we're just passing there. That's the UK's tallest building. Now, the architect for the Shard, an Italian called Renzo Piano, when he finished the project, the owners were so happy with his work, they offered him £1 million as a bonus. He turned it down, took the penthouse instead, and then sold that for 38 million. Good decision. Oh, there you go, that's the financial district now to your left I was telling you about. But also on your left-hand side, we've got this white building here on the riverfront, behind the trees, just to your left. And now this is Waterguard House. And if you look on the roof in the middle, it's got 6 small black chimneys. Right, so anything illegally bought into the United Kingdom, that could be drugs, alcohol, tobacco, for example, they take it to that building on your left, they'll store it in the basement for up to 1 year, and then they incinerate it, hence the black chimneys on the roof. But I have never seen any smoke coming out of those chimneys. Not a puff, no. We hear they have very good Christmas parties. I wonder why. Now on your right side, you might have to strain your eyes to see it because it's camouflaged. But if you look hard enough, there's a warship there. HMS Belfast. Give them a wave, give them a wave. So the ship on your right here was actually built in the same shipyard as the Titanic and went on to become the flagship for the United Nations, but saw action in the Second World War. Today is a brilliant museum. If you're into your naval history, I really recommend the day out at HMS Belfast. Now then, our stop's on your left, Tower Millennium Pier, but we are going to get you closer to Tower Bridge. Okay, so you're going to get some nice photo opportunities. Just a reminder, guys, there's seating over the deck, so do try and stay seated as best you can. In a minute, we're going to turn the boat and it's going to rock about a bit. But Also, if you're standing up, you're likely blocking someone else's view, so we do kindly ask that you try and stay seated as best you can on the top there. Thank you. Now, the bridge in front of you is unique. It is a twin steel suspension and bastille bridge. Now, bastille is a French word, it means counterbalance, and that is the centre parts of the bridge they rise, allowing taller ships into the city. There is only one day of the year this bridge will definitely not open, and that is the day of the London Marathon. And that's because 56,000 people run across it. I personally think the gap might make it more interesting. A bit of a long jump for the runners. Maybe that's just me. The towers on the bridge were built in 1894. They were built in the neo-Gothic style under the orders of Queen Victoria. And that was so this bridge could be in keeping with the much older Tower of London on your left. Now, I've got a little story for you about Tower Bridge. I'm going to take you back to December 1952. And it was a very foggy day this December day in London, as it often is. And a bus driver called Albert Gunter, was driving south across this bridge. That's left to right as you look at it. And when Albert got to the middle of the bridge, through the fog, he noticed it was beginning to open. And there was about a 3-foot gap. Now at this point, what most people would do is brake. Albert did not do that. He accelerated his bus and he jumped Tower Bridge. That's a true story. The day the bus driver jumped Tower Bridge. Now he was the only person to get injured. Thankfully he broke his neck. He was given a medal for his bravery and a £10 bonus. Apparently most of the £10 he spent on a clean pair of pants. But that is a true story, the day the bus driver jumped Tower Bridge. I think if you did something like that today, you'd definitely get a sack and you would probably end up in prison. Talking of prisons, that's quite a famous one in front of us, I'll tell you about that in a minute. Now there's another way to see the bridge, guy. There you go, I told you, I wasn't lying, so I'm going to rock about a bit there. Now, another way to see the bridge, if you go to the wall, you can go to the walkways right at the top there, but be warned, it's got a glass floor in the middle, so you are looking straight down onto the road. So have a good head for heights for that one. I personally think this is the best way to see Tower Bridge. So as we continue to search,